Jared Mueller, one of your colleagues, BrownsWire.com, did a mock-off season for the Browns. We're going to run through some of the things that he said, and then we'll react to it. So a healthy Baker Mayfield was first and foremost. Then the next thing was release J.C. Tretter, the Browns' starting center. We'll talk about that. We talked about this a little bit. Lower Landry's cap hit. That means extend him and get him for less. Then retain Clowney / bring back Sheldon Richardson. We kind of combined two there. Trade for Calvin Ridley and extend Denzel Ward, the outstanding cornerback who they still have the fifth-year option, but due for a new deal. When you look at that, let's start with the passing game, and there's a couple of things to that. Passing game needs to be significantly better for the Browns. Does a healthy Baker Mayfield address that? Maybe. Take us through some of the steps with that.
Yeah, and Baker has earned the shot, if he's healthy, to come back and be the starting quarterback. It doesn't mean that you have to sign him to an extension this offseason, but if you're letting him play next year as your starting quarterback, look, who's out there that's going to be better than him for this offense in 2022? It's tough to find somebody who would be affordable and available that can come in right away and do what Baker did with the same offense in 2020. Obviously, 2021, he didn't have a good year. People around him didn't have a good year either. They are a situation where I do expect a bounce back. I expect a better Baker with good health. So that's the fingers crossed there. And he's better with Jarvis Landry on the team than off the team. So restructuring that, like we just talked about, it makes a lot of sense for that. Jarvis, he's in a weird situation in that he's been a very productive receiver, but he's never been a game breaker. He's much better as not the number one receiver, but he's paid as a number one receiver. I think he needs to come to the realization that that's not tenable for his future anymore. He's got to choose whether he wants to break the bank or win. If he wants to win, honestly, there's not many places that need him that are better than Cleveland. So, I think that sort of weighs where they are with the passing game there.
Yeah, and another one, Denzel Ward has played, and he was healthy most of the year, played like a number one corner. I imagine Andrew Berry, the way this front office operates, they're going to pay him like a number one corner before too much longer here.
I would hope so. It is worth noting though that they did draft Greg Newsome last year. Obviously, Newsome is a very talented guy in his own right, but there were some who thought that this is insurance against Denzel Ward becoming too expensive or also being injured a lot. Now that you've got two of them, you're allocating a lot of resources there to the quarterback position. That, in my opinion, that's a good thing. I wonder how much they will value Denzel. I happen to think he's a local guy, very good in the community. When he's been on the field, he's been phenomenal. Was arguably the best cornerback in the league last year in coverage situations. You got to pay for that. You can't let that walk out the door. Even if third round comp picks be darned, you need that guy in the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we've talked about Calvin Ridley. We'll talk about him a little bit more. They need to upgrade the wide receiver position to help Baker Mayfield or whomever the quarterback is.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ridley's interesting because he took this past year off. He had some mental health issues that he wanted to sort out. He's a little bit older than you would expect. I think he's going to be 28 this coming season. Has been a good, not great receiver. He's talented. He's obviously, would be an upgrade over Donovan Peoples-Jones, Anthony Schwartz, the ghost of OBJ. He fits into that role nicely, but there's going to be other opportunities out there. There are other free agents that will be out there. There will be draft picks. Our first caller there brought up Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. He certainly makes a lot of sense. Treylon Burks from Arkansas makes a lot of sense in that same sort of role. That would be cheaper than what it would take to get Ridley. So it's worth exploring, but I wouldn't necessarily get shoehorned in on one specific guy there. You're absolutely right though. They have to upgrade the receiving talent. This is one of the options that will do it.